Guys, welcome to Mobile Maths with Gamchirai. Today we want to look at inverse variation. So I've got an example here. Let's say I've got an orange and I want to share it to 4 people and 12 people. So here's what is going to happen. If I share it to 4 people, each person will get 90 degrees. Their portions will be bigger and equal. If I share it to among 12 people, these are 12 people, these are 4, each person will get 30 degrees. The portions now have reduced. What does it mean? It means that if we increase the number of people, the portion that they will get will be smaller and smaller. But if we were to share, for example, with 2 people on one orange, we'll get bigger portions. Okay, so this we can write as a variation and say the size of the angle theta varies inversely with the number of sectors n. So this becomes theta varies with the inverse of n there, like that. Okay, I've got another example. Let's say we have got a teapot. We've got a teapot, same teapot, and that teapot we are sharing it among 4 people. Each person will get some maybe full cups. Then if we share it to 12 people, it means each person will get fewer and fewer portions of their tea. And we can also represent that information as the volume of tea received, that is V, is inversely proportional to the number of people n, and this can be written as V varies inversely with 1 over n. The n there is representing the number of people. Okay, so let's have an example. I've got two examples on this video. The first example, we've got V varies inversely with n, and we are given that V, so we can write V varies inversely with n like this. So it's more like from what we have been doing earlier on. So we are given that V is that and our n is this. So what we do first, we introduce a constant. If we are to introduce a constant, we have V is equal to K times 1 over n like this. Or else you can write it as V is equal to K over n. It's one and the same thing. You can take it anyhow. Okay, now let's solve and substitute the values that we are given. For the first one, we are given 220 is equal to K by 1 over 6. Okay, like that. So let's find the value of K there. We will multiply both sides by 6. Okay, by 6. Okay, so this side they cancel off each other. Then we have our K becomes 6 times 2,220. Then it becomes 1,320. So that's our value of our K. Now to write our relationship, we say our V is equal to 1,320 by 1 over n like this. Or else you can write it from the other way that I have shown you, that you can say V is equal to 1,320 over n. It's all one and the same thing. It's the same as this one. Okay, now that we have built the relationship, the second part of the question was asking us to find the value of V when n is 8. Let's find the value of V when E is 8, when n is 8. Okay, finding the value of V when, okay, so we have got V is equals to 1,320 over our n is 8. So this one is straightforward. 8 into 1,320, we get 165. So V is 165. Okay, let's move on to the next example. Okay, the next example is this. We've got P varies inversely as the square root of v. Okay, so we have got varies as the square root of v. We have a square root here. Now we are given p as this and v as this. Let's substitute to get our k. We introduce a constant. P is equal to k by 1 over square root of v. Okay, so you can write it anyhow, otherwise it's still one and the same thing. Substituting the values that we are given, I've got 4,5 here, is equal to k by 1 over square root of 25. Okay, like that. Now, for me to get my k, I can multiply this side by square root of 25 over 1 this side, and by square root of 25 over 1 this side, meaning this the right hand side, they cancel off each other. Then on the left hand side, square root of 25 is 5, so I'm going to have 5 times 4,5. Okay, 5 times 4,5 there. Let's do that. I have got 5 times 4,5 is equal to k. So my k value is going to be equal to 22,5. And the relationship that I have at the end of the day is going to be P is equal to 22,5 over V. This is the relationship that I have. Okay, now the second part of the question was asking us to find the value of V when P is 15. Okay, so let's do that. Want to find the value of V when P is 15. So I'll write my 15 is equal to 22,5 over V. So I want to find V. So I'm going to multiply both sides by V, by V, by V. Okay. Sorry, I forgot square root there. I forgot square root there. Even on the previous question, I forgot square root. There is a square root sign here. Okay, my mistake then. Okay, so you should take particular attention with these smaller issues. They can cost your marks. Okay, so multiplying by square root of V both sides, I will have then dividing by 15, divided by 15, I'll have at the end of the day square root of V is equal to 22,5 divided by 15. Okay, this is what I'm going to have. This will cancel off with this one on that side, and this will cancel off with this one. That's why I'll have this. And if I divide 22,5 by 15, I get 1,5. Okay, so with 1,5, to get my V in this case is square root. Square root of V is equal to 1,5. Square root is the same as V to the power of half. So to remove that half, I can multiply by 2. Okay, so I'm squaring both sides to get my V. Then my V becomes 1,5 squared. I will get my V as 2,25. So that's how you simplify these questions. Otherwise, they are not difficult. Let's meet in the next lesson. Otherwise, bye-bye.